was just like, what am I reading right now? Like, oh, it's a shiny head I have. Oh, that's ridiculous. Oh my goodness. I just gotta roll with it. Actually, today's a great day. So this ain't a fake smile. Oh, I need water. Anyhow, okay, let's get this show on the road. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We have a very exciting video today because I feel like I've mentioned this over and over and over again, but I am determined to finish my fall TBR, and I have made it a mission, a point to actually read all of them, because sometimes I feel like I make these TBRs and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read them, and then I get like sidetracked and then I don't read them, and something in me just can't do that. I feel very guilty. I feel like I'm letting myself down. I just love crossing off something on a list. And I love writing it down and making it a big thing and romanticizing it and having a really great time with it and then feeling accomplished that it's done. So that is the purpose of this video. We are gonna try to get through my fall TBR. This is the lineup if you have not already seen it. And I just made my October TBR video, so we're kind of narrowing it down to my October reads specifically, and I think most of them are from my fall TBR. I think there's one book that's not from it. I actually have already started reading 2 of these books because I needed to get a head start, because there's no time to waste here. We have 7 books to get through. The first book I started reading is The Dead Romantic. So I talked about this book. I was very excited about this book. I started already reading this book, and I am a good chunk of the way in. I'm on page 160, which means I am 43% of the way into this book. Let me give you a little spiel about what this book is and how I'm feeling about it right now. This book follows Florence Day. She is a romance author. She loves love and romanticizing it all in a book and releasing it. She ended up becoming a ghostwriter for one of the most famous romance authors out there. And so you kind of start with that and you get to know kind of where she is right now. She's about to finish another one of the famous author's books. It's been such a hard time for her, and she's really fallen out of the idea of love. She doesn't believe it anymore. She almost kind of criticizes it. She's very pessimistic about it, and she can't finish a romance book. In the midst of that, her father actually had passed away. She has to go back to the small town she's been avoiding for about 10 years now and face everyone in that small town and wrap her mind around the grief of losing her father. You follow her along that journey of venturing home, and it's a small, kind of more cozy town vibe. Everyone knows who everyone is. The thing is, when everyone knows who everyone is, when something big happens, it tends to be big news around there. And so she was famously known when she was younger. She helped to solve a murder by talking to ghosts. And that is where the magical element of Ashley Poston is in this book. She sees ghosts, she talks to ghosts, and you follow her along this journey of understanding ghosts, understanding what that life meant to her, understanding the grief of her father, trying to finish this big romance book. There's a love interest in there. There's fun, quirky moments with just the town folk is really fun and cute, and I'm having a really great time with it. I feel like this is such a good fall book to read. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. I think the issue I'm having is the pacing of it. So at first it was pretty fast paced. It was enjoyable. You're going on this ride with them, and then it kind of just divots. The train kind of stops moving, goes a little bit slower, and then it starts to pick up again. So you're kind of in this weird pacing where it's like you're really interested and then it kind of gets boring and then you're really interested again. So there's kind of this weird pacing of this book that I'm not particularly enjoying, and I think I'm having a harder time picking it up. But I think when I'm in it, I'm enjoying it, if that makes sense. Like when I'm reading this book, I'm having a ball. It's a great time. I'm loving it. But when I close it, beats me. I don't even know I'm reading that book. So I don't know. I think it's a good time. I think it's fun. I think it is like a perfect seasonal book. So I think this is a good book to start with. This is the first book I had started reading for this video, and I am really enjoying it. I'm hoping to finish it probably by the end of this week. All that being said, that is my update on that. I'm reading The Dead Romantics, and the other book I'm reading is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I'm actually listening to this as an audiobook on Libby. So if you don't know anything about me, I cannot listen to audiobooks. I don't have a Kindle. All I have is a library card and my physical books. So I knew I had to kind of push my boundaries a little bit and kind of step into my uncomfortable zones, and that is exactly what I've been doing with this book. It's listening to it as an audiobook. Honestly, it's been really, really fun. I found myself wanting to listen to the audiobook. I haven't even opened up this physical copy because when I go to sit down to read a book, I'm usually picking the Dead Romantics. This is more of like my car listen, or I'm doing something else listen in the background sort of thing. I know everything that's going on. I know the characters' names. I know the storyline. I know every little sentence. I am so just locked in on this book. I don't know if it's just this book, if my frontal lobe has developed and now I can do and listen to audiobooks and see it all in my mind. I don't understand it, but I think I kind of like audiobooks now. I have no other words besides it's a really, really fun time, and I'm so glad I decided to push out of my comfort zone. So this is your sign, even if it's not book related, to just like kind of see if you like something. If you don't, that's totally okay. I would have just read the physical copy, but I am loving the audiobook. I love the people who are talking. I feel like it really makes the story, the different voices, helping distinguish everything is really fun because I haven't explained this book actually at all. We're mostly following Rachel. She's a little off the wire. She's very unstable. She has a lot of mental health issues, and it's very evident to everyone around her. And she takes the same train every single day. She goes into London and back out London, same train, same time, all of that fun stuff. And so at first you're kind of like, well, this is going to be a little bit more of a mundane book because you're following her to the train and back. But as you go, you kind of see her internal thoughts, what she's seeing outside of the train, what she's looking at. So she watches this couple like almost every single day, and she kind of makes her own story of who they are and their name. One day, things change in the household. You kind of unravel that, and then there's more mystery, and then there's mystery involving Rachel. It's so entertaining. I don't want to give too much away because as a thriller, I want to give you more suspense to go into it. As for now, I think we're really trying to focus on the Dead Romantics, but we'll see what happens. I feel like I kind of just talked your ear off. I really think that we can get through this TBR. I don't think I will get to all of them, but best believe I will try to get to all of them by the end of October. But this is just a little motivator to actually start getting into them and reading them. So let's go ahead and see if we can get through my fall TBR. Oh, I look like a little egghead, and I won't focus on me because it's dark, but I think we're gonna go ahead and finish The Girl on the Train. I have been listening to it in audiobook, as y'all know, and I have about, I think, under 100 pages left, like 50 pages left, and I think I'm gonna sit down and finish it. I am really tired, so I don't know if that will happen, but it's only like 9 o'clock, so I definitely feel like I could finish it. It has completely consumed me and I need to know what happens now. So I did move to the physical book and started reading a couple chapters from it, which definitely feels weird because I'm not listening to the audiobook, like British people speaking to me anymore. So now I'm like, oh, I feel a little more detached. But all of that to say, I think we're going to go ahead and see how much we can read of the physical book of The Girl on the Train. I feel like I haven't sat down and talked to you guys about the books I've been reading. I genuinely have just been reading. So I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys because I have so many updates to go through. Let's go ahead and start with the first book. So I finished The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. And this is the one I read about 95% of it in audiobook, and about the last 5% you saw me reading the last physical pages of the book. And this was really, really fun. I decided to pick it up on a whim because I really wanted to finish my fall TBR, and I saw that Libby had it for free, so I was like, okay, let me just download the audiobook and see if I like it. And I loved it so much. Again, I didn't have high hopes coming in, but I immediately understood the storyline. It was very easy to follow along, and I feel like maybe, I don't know if it was just because of this fact, but they had accents and I feel like it made it so much more fun and enjoyable, and maybe that caught my ear a little bit more because it was a little bit, I don't know, accents are just like pretty, so it was just very easy to follow along for that, whatever reason it may have been. I don't know if that was associated, but I wanted to throw it out there that the audiobook is so amazing and the accents are superior. As for the actual plot of the book, it follows Rachel for the main part, and Rachel, her life, she is just a little messy. She had a messy divorce. She's a big alcoholic. Just her life is basically falling apart. She takes the same train every day into work, and she watches the people along the train. So there's like a whole bunch of houses and you can like see people's balconies and stuff, and so she's just watching these people and making up stories about them. And at first I thought, oh my gosh, like sometimes I do the same thing. When I'm people watching, I make up stories about what their life might be. Just, you know, my creative mind going crazy there. She sees something that she shouldn't have seen, and she kind of goes a little stir crazy about it. And this girl who she has hyperfixated on, she fixates on this one couple. The girl ends up going missing. She tries to insert herself into the investigation, and you see as she's trying to solve the mystery, as the detectives are trying to solve the mystery, as you are getting the story of the girl who went missing. So you're getting all of these twists and turns. There's 3 different perspectives of women that you're following, and it's really fun, so entrancing, very entertaining. I really wanted to know what was going on. The whole time I was very engaged. I always wanted to play the audiobook whenever I was driving, whenever I was doing anything that I could multitask. I was playing the audiobook, and I finished in, I think, about 5 days, and the audiobook's about 13 hours long. But towards the end, I feel like the big suspense that you were just leading up to kind of fell a little flat for me. I was like, oh, that's the ending? Okay. No, that's fine. Like, that's not too bad. So I don't know, for me it just felt a little bit dull. I feel like a little more twisty and turny would have been fun. I wish I would have gasped like I wanted to, but I genuinely just didn't. And so for me, I really loved it up until the end. So that's why I gave it 3 stars. So it's just like in the middle. Would I recommend it to people? I think so. If you're not really into thrillers, this is a really good book to pick up. And if you're not into audiobooks, I highly recommend the audiobook if you can get your hands on it. It was so fun, so immersive, and I genuinely saw the picture playing out in my head, which is one of my favorite things when you're reading a really good book, that you can picture what's going on. And I definitely felt that when I was listening to the audiobook. Definitely a really good read for October, and I'm really excited to watch the movie. It stars Emily Blunt, and I really like her, so I'm gonna try to see if I can watch that sometime soon. The next book, I was simultaneously reading this book while also listening to that book, and that is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Again, you guys have been seeing me read this here and there, and I did end up finishing this one a day after I finished The Girl on the Train. I feel like I completely understand why people recommend this book for a fall read. This is the epitome of a charming, cozy. You just want to curl up and read this book with a nice hot chocolate or a pumpkin something. Her family owns a funeral home. And I love the dynamic of her family. It was so fun to read. They were quirky, they would laugh, they would do silly things. I feel like if I could describe this book in one sentence, it is a mix of Gilmore Girls and Halloween Town. Just the quirkiness of the town and like the ghost element with the funeral home and their family and how quirky and outlandish they are, with the coziness of Gilmore Girls town and the people and how everyone knows everyone and everyone has a story about when you were little and things like that. Of course, this is a romance book, so the unexpected romance here is that her new editor actually ends up passing away, and she sees his ghost, and his ghost visits her in her hometown, and they're trying to figure out why they're seeing each other, and they start to spend time together to see what it is that they need to do so that he can move on and, you know, not be a ghost haunting her all the time. Watch that unfold, which is really fun and different. And again, for me, I was just like, what am I reading right now? Like, this is so random, and I really had no idea where it was gonna end if she fell in love with a ghost, but it all ties so perfectly. It's the perfect ending of a Hallmark movie. It was witty, it was heartfelt, and it just gave me every single feeling I love about fall, and had some stronger elements that you get to deal with, which is grief and loss and the feeling of what is love and things like that also were weaved into it, which I really love. And I ended up actually highlighting some quotes, so I'm gonna go ahead and read those to you. This is a part of a bigger chapter that I really love, but it says just here, "Love wasn't a whisper in the quiet night. It was a yelp into the void, screaming that you were here." And I love this one so, so much. I feel like it completely describes the definition of love in many fonts. So let me just read it to you. It says, "It was loyal and stubborn and hopeful. It was a brother calling before a funeral to ask how the latest book was going. It was a sister scolding her older sister for always running away. It was a little girl on a stormy night tucked into the lap of an undertaker, listening to the sound of the wind through the creaky Victorian house. It was a ballroom dancer spinning around in an empty parlor with the ghost of her husband and a song in her throat. It was petting good dogs and quiet mornings, waking up beside a man with impossibly dark eyes and a voice with the syrupy sweetness of third shelf vodka. It was a best friend flying in from New York on a moment's notice. It was life, wild and finite." And then this last little one here, it goes, "Good things don't wait, and neither should you." I don't know. I just love the way she wrote about love and the depiction of it and the evolution of the character and the kind of the big things that she hadn't realized about her life and everything that was going on, and a lot of realizations that I really just took to heart. Sometimes I had trouble picking up the book, and I don't know if it was because I was reading The Girl on the Train, which was super, super fast paced. I mean, that writing, you could just speed right through. It was really easy to follow along. And this book was slower paced, you know, you're walking through a town, you're looking at the trees. Like, it was very, very drastically different. And so I think the pacing of them, sometimes I do lean towards a faster read, a little more thriller and enticing, and I had to be aware that it was a slower book, and I feel like I didn't do that, so sometimes I had trouble picking it up. But by the end, I fully love this book. I think I would reread this book. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's so cozy. I highly recommend anyone who just wants to get in a cozy fall romance mood with a little bit of ghosts and a little bit of Halloween Town and Gilmore Girls. This is the book for you. It was so, so good. I think I ended up rating this one 4 stars out of 5. I really love this book. Maybe even a 4.25. Like, this was just such a fun book, and I really, really, really loved it. So right after that, I jumped into 2 other books, because now I just am reading 2 books at the same time, apparently. I'm really trying to get through this fall TBR. I have 7 books to read in the month of October, so I'm double stacking them to get through them. So since I like the first audiobook, I decided to try again with another one, and the one that was offered on Libby was The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I love a good horror thriller. I haven't read a lot of them, but I've been really, really wanting to get into them, and I know Riley Sager is a very, very popular one, so I was like, okay, if anything, I'm gonna read this one. And I really wanted to read The Only One Left because a lot of people talked about how good it was. So once I saw that it was for free on Libby, I took it as a sign that I had to read it. And let me see how far I am into it now. I am a couple of hours in at this point. I'm 36% of the way into the book, and this one, again, is also really easy to follow along. I don't know if my mind switch on audiobooks was the cause of being able to actually listen to them now, but I'm very happy. And as far as I know, it is set in 1980, and it follows Kit. She's like a home health aide, like a nurse who stays and lives with the people and helps them 24/7. She's assigned to care for Lenora Hope. And Lenora Hope is a woman who's accused of murdering her entire family when she was 17 years old. And now she's 71. She can't speak, but she can move one of her arms. And when Lenora starts to take care of her, she uses the one hand to type on a typewriter, and she starts telling her story about what happened the night her family was all murdered besides her. And it's suspenseful, it's scary, it's eerie. There's a lot of twists and turns. Like, something just happened where I was driving and I gasped. I was like, oh, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way. And I'm really excited to see where this book goes. I think I'm gonna keep listening to the audiobook. I did go to a bookstore today and found the book. I decided against buying it just because I do want to use my library card, and I want to stop consuming books and just use them for free if I don't want to keep them on my shelves. My shelves are overflowing and I don't need to buy too many books anymore. This is just, I feel like it's a page turner. I'm really excited to see where it goes. Everyone said the ending is like, no one was able to guess the twist, and that's been what I'm missing from thrillers recently, is that the twist and the end doesn't really surprise me. I think the last book I can vividly remember that surprised me was The Housemaid, which is a book I read like 2 years ago. So I'm excited to see if I actually get surprised, and I don't know. I think it's a really, really, really good book so far. I'm very excited to continue. The book I'm physically reading when I'm not listening is 11/22/63. I finally started it. I've made it into it, and I'm feeling very confident about it now. We are trying to get into it. It's 10:18 tonight, so it is a little bit late. I do have to wake up at like 5 o'clock, but I really just want to make a dent. Do you know when a book is just so, wait, what's that hair doing? You know when a book is just so big and so daunting that you just want to be closer to the middle of the book? I don't know how else to explain the feeling I have. Being at the beginning, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just need to get into this book and actually get past like the daunting part of it to actually enjoy the book and like love it and stuff. So I don't know, I need to like dedicate an hour or something or more to just read this book. But I've been reading it here and there because I've been really busy the past 2 days. I'm on chapter 2. I made it to page 29. So I think we're gonna go ahead and just try to read a little bit. I feel like the chapters are kind of long. I really only want to read for a little bit. Oh, chapter 3 ends at page 53. I don't know what the book is about, and it's kind of driving me crazy. Like, I need to know what the book is about. I want to know what the book is about. So I think we're gonna try to read. We'll see how this goes. I posted a video a little bit ago rating book apps, and Bookwise actually reached out to me and it gave me a free trial, so I've been messing around with that. This is not sponsored at all. This is just me playing around with book apps. So I just set it up yesterday. I don't know if you can see that. If you haven't seen that video, you basically can like customize this whole app for yourself. So I made the color scheme and everything, and I think it's really fun. I'm still messing around with it, but I think I'm gonna try to put a little timer on. I'm starting a new timer, and let's get to reading. I just made a realization. This book is set in Maine, and the only one left is also set in Maine. That is crazy. I feel like I'm gonna have such a hard time. I hope I don't have such a hard time differentiating both, but they literally have the same exact setting. What are the odds? I am on page 99. I even have my bookmark that says, may this be a 5-star read. Just got to part 2 literally earlier today, and it has been so interesting so far. It's a time travel thriller. It follows Jake, who is a high school teacher, and he has been revealed to this secret passageway in this pantry of a restaurant he loves to go to. And the owner of the restaurant shows him this passageway, and he walks through, and all of a sudden it's like 1953, I believe, and everything is different. It's the same exact town. JK. 1958. The owner of the restaurant shows it to him because he's like, I have this mission for you. You need to save JFK from getting assassinated. Here are all the steps. Go back in time and save JFK to save the world. Like, that is so cool because it's history, and personally, I love history, and one of my favorite shows I've ever watched is Timeless, and if you've never seen that show, it basically is kind of like this plot. They go back in time to, well, it's kind of a little different. They go back in time to kind of make sure history stays the same, and other people are also trying to change history. And so you go back to all these like big moments in time, and it's really, really fun. It's such a good show. I wish they had more seasons of it, and it's not popularized, but they're on Prime right now for free. So if you're interested in time travel and history and adventure, and there's romance in there, and it's just so fun, I would highly recommend for anyone. Timeless, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 11/22/63, and it's just giving the same exact vibes of that show, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I just love the idea of, oh my gosh, what if JFK didn't get assassinated? Now, how is the timeline gonna look, and what if he does it, and how are things gonna look? Because it feels realistic in a sense, because I know the history of it, so I already have like a foundation to understand if something does change, how that's going to affect it, which I think is really fun, and kind of feels like I'm more part of the story than if I'm reading a made-up story, if that makes any sense. Like, because I already have read about that history, I know about it, so I feel more connected to it, versus reading about like a Fae territory where I don't know the language or I don't know anything, and I'm learning it as I go. Like, I already have learned it, so now I can see what he'll do to change it. I'm really, really, really excited to see where this goes. I really have high hopes, and I'm loving it so far, but I am going on a trip, and I'm going on it on Sunday. Today is Friday, and I'm taking a carry-on. And I don't think this book will fit. This book is so heavy. Every time I drop it, it feels like I'm dropping a really big history or math book that I had back way when in high school and middle school. And I just don't think that I can bring this book. Like, nor will I be reading that much to justify bringing this book. So I think I am gonna leave it, which means that this is the end of the video. I really feel like I'm leaving you guys on a cliffhanger, but I will be back. I will be talking about these books again, whether it be in a part 2 of this, whether it be in a wrap-up video where I do my seasonal wrap-ups or whatever it may be. I will be talking about these books. I'm very excited for both of them. I have very high hopes for both of them, but I have completed 2 out of the 7 of my TBR, and I consider that a win in my book. It is only the beginning of October, so I know that we will get far. I really, really hope to finish these books. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it's not too bad that I'm leaving you guys with only reading 2 books, but I have 2 more books I'm reading, and I will give you an update soon, I swear. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, getting through my fall TBR. I hope this gave you some motivation and maybe to start reading some of those fall books before it's over and we're on to Christmas books. I'm gonna get real close to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me if you're still here. I love talking to you guys. It is my happy place. It is everything I've ever dreamed of. So thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you next time. Okay. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.